I'm the librarian in the small town of Willow Creek. I've always loved the quiet and peace that comes with working here, surrounded by books and the familiar faces of the townspeople. But everything changed the day I found the manuscript. It was a rainy afternoon, and the library was nearly empty. I was sorting through a stack of old books in the basement when I noticed a loose brick in the wall. Curious, I pried it out and found a dusty, leather-bound book hidden behind it. The title was worn away, but as I opened it, I felt a chill run down my spine. The manuscript detailed the history of Willow Creek with disturbing accuracy. It described events that had happened years ago, down to the smallest detail. But as I read further, I realized it also predicted future events. My hands trembled as I saw today's date at the top of one page. "The river will flood," it read, "and take 3 lives with it." My heart raced. The river had been rising due to the constant rain, but no one thought it was dangerous. I ran to the mayor's office, clutching the manuscript. Mayor Thompson looked at me skeptically as I explained. "Emily, it's just an old book. You can't seriously believe it's predicting the future. But it's been right about everything else." I insisted. "We have to warn people. We have to do something." He sighed but agreed to send out a warning, just in case. That night, the river overflowed, but thanks to the warning, everyone stayed away. No one was hurt. The manuscript had been right, and I had stopped the first disaster. The next morning, I turned the page. A fire will break out at the school, trapping children inside. Fear gripped me. I had to act fast. I called the fire department and the school principal, begging them to do a safety check. They found faulty wiring that could have sparked a fire. They fixed it, and once again, disaster was averted. The townspeople started looking at me differently, with a mix of gratitude and suspicion. Some whispered that I was causing these events, but I knew I had to keep going. The final prediction was the most terrifying. On the 3rd day, a shadow will fall over Willow Creek, and the town will be no more. What could that mean? I had no idea how to stop a shadow. Panic set in as I realized I had less than 24 hours to save my town. I gathered the townspeople in the town hall and showed them the manuscript. "This book has predicted everything that's happened," I said, my voice shaking. "We have to work together to stop whatever's coming." We brainstormed all night, trying to figure out what the shadow could be. As dawn approached, a sudden, eerie darkness fell over the town. It wasn't an eclipse or a storm, it was something unnatural. People screamed and ran in all directions. I felt hopeless, not knowing what to do. Then I remembered something from the manuscript. In the margins, there was a note, "Light will drive the shadow away. Everyone, gather all the lights you can find." I shouted. "Flashlights, lamps, anything." We lit up the town, and the darkness seemed to shrink away. It was working, but the shadow was persistent. In a final act of desperation, I climbed to the top of the church tower with the manuscript. I read aloud from it, invoking the names and events it had described. The shadow writhed and screamed, an unholy sound that made my blood run cold. As I finished the last sentence, a blinding light erupted from the manuscript, banishing the darkness completely. The sun rose, and the town was safe. The people of Willow Creek looked at me with a mix of awe and fear. The manuscript had disappeared, leaving only an empty cover. I knew life would never be the same, but we had survived. I still feel the weight of those 3 days, and the fear that the darkness might return. But for now, Willow Creek is safe, and I'll do everything I can to keep it that way.